Benvolio and Rosaline are on the lam, and Princess Isabella is trying to save her virtue. We're talking all about episode 5, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What songs we got?
Oh!
What a nice surprise.
That was amazing.
Hey, shout out to our engineer, Bree.
She was
with
awesome.
the tunes.
On the nose with that one. That's perfect. Way better than the opening
Like
song.
a virgin. And luckily, we still have a virgin.
We do.
in
We
this
still have a
show.
virgin. She saved her virtue. She's a cunning little girl, isn't she?
Yeah, I mean, she's got all the moves, and I admire her for it. Very
Right?
clever.
I mean, anyone that can cut their leg to make sure that they don't lose their virginity is kudos to
Dedicated.
them. Dedication. Hey guys, welcome to episode 5, season 1 of Still Star-Crossed. My name is Candice Cruz, and you can find me on all of my social media at Candice R. Cruz.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Olivia Gabaree. You can hit me up at the real OG, the real _O_G.
Girl, this episode though.
I don't know.
It was just, you know what? It's been such like hype the last few episodes, and this one was kind of just like coasting,
I guess.
almost for me.
A little predictable, I'd say.
Yeah, I was waiting for a couple people to get killed. There were a couple moments where I was like, "Oh, someone's gonna get." Okay, no, they didn't die.
Yeah.
So I mean,
For plot's sake, I think that everyone has to be alive.
otherwise they have nothing left.
Yeah,
They've already
there's
killed
really
off everybody
nothing
else.
left to talk
There's
about.
not many more people to die. But you know, we've got Benvolio and Rosaline on the lam. Mm-hmm. And I saw a love connection going on between the two of them.
Oh
on
yeah,
this little trip.
they're definitely feeling each other from the moment that he was warming her up on the hillside. You know, when
Which
they were
was
sitting
cute.
close. It was cute. Like, I'm not hating on it, but it's you definitely a little feelings in the air
a little
there.
something there.
Yeah.
You know what, though, I have to say about Rosaline, as much as I love her, and she's like feminism to the max, and I love her, she repeats herself an awful lot.
I think that she's just trying to get she's
Her
trying to
point
make
across.
a point. And I'm not even sure if she's trying to convince Benvolio or she's trying to convince herself.
Yes.
But, you know, she's made her point. She's sticking to it for the most part. For now.
the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel for Benvolio for the more than anything. Like, as much as I hate Rosaline repeating herself, I feel for him because he's just like, woman, just come with me.
Yeah.
Keep me safe. Otherwise, I'm going to die. Like, basic necessities here.
Yeah.
You live or die.
That's really is what it's come down to at this point. I do feel bad for him because his life is on the line, and I mean, he says, you know, this could be the last time I do this could be the last time I do that. He's very aware of the situation that he's got himself in. Well, not even that he got himself in. That's somebody put him in.
He was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Exactly.
Completely. Well, I mean, him running up to ask for sanctuary, I was waiting for it to be Friar Lawrence opening the door, and then it just, you know.
Yeah, right. I didn't know that it was that easy, though. But they still swerved him at the door.
The only time I ever heard about sanctuary, and I know this is going to be a little cheesy recap, but was Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh, really?
Where,
I don't even remember that movie.
You don't?
I mean, I remember its existence, but I don't remember
Well,
the
it was
plot
like during
at all.
the same time period. That's why I'm bringing it up. But Esmeralda goes to ask for sanctuary, and that's the only time I've ever heard anything like sanctuary. So I guess even if you murder someone, you can get away with it back in those days.
That's kind of cool, kind of not at the same time. You could just kill someone and be like, okay, I could just like ask for sanctuary, and it's fine.
Just get away with it. I mean, they didn't have DNA or anything like back then.
Oh, that's
so
true. That is true.
You could get away with it.
How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh, see? Tying in with another Shonda show. There you go.
I see what they did there.
See what she did there.
Ask for sanctuary.
Ask for sanctuary. That's what we should tell all
should
the characters
incorporate
from
in the
that.
next show.
Yeah, in the next show. We should incorporate that, asking for sanctuary. But he asks for sanctuary and gets it. And they end up finding Friar Lawrence laying down on the ground, from what they see, dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, first...
It was too on the nose for me, personally.
Are they knights, or what exactly is the correct...
Of who's at the church? I believe they're monks.
No, but the people that are like hunting Benvolio.
Oh, so they're being hunted by, from what I understood at the beginning of the episode, which completely changed by the end of the episode, was that they were knights under the rule of Prince Aeschylus,
Right.
searching for him to bring him in to kill him.
So when they found Friar Lawrence, it's just like the timing of everything. Of course, all of a sudden the knights came looking for Benvolio and looking for Rosaline. And Friar Lawrence like kind of swerved them, stood up for them a little bit, but then how was he able to even keep them safe and not keep them from being found?
I don't even think, it wasn't even Friar Lawrence. Friar Lawrence was hiding.
So who was
this
that
other,
person?
I don't know what his name is.
Okay.
He's a friar. That's all I know.
So he saved them, and Friar Lawrence was passed out the entire time because he knew that they were there and he didn't want anything to be.
Yeah, so Friar Lawrence, once he
involved.
wakes up, he basically said, I saw you guys coming, so I took that to save myself. But it was the other friar that originally denied him sanctuary that ended up saving him.
I see. Yeah, so, and it was funny because Benvolio just thought he was dead, but Rosalind knew. She knew his game. In that he took the potion, the same exact potion that he gave Juliet in the beginning, so they knew that he would wake up. But that is some potion that straight up kills you.
Well, it's basically
stops
like
your heartbeat.
that modern day anesthesia.
Yeah, I guess.
If you really think about it, I mean, you would assume someone under anesthesia was dead.
Yeah, but when you have anesthesia, like, does your pulse stop?
Your pulse is still there, I believe, but it's like slowed down. So, I mean, not exactly the same thing, but...
Yeah. This is some witchcraft type.
That's what she threatens him with, too. It's like, you have a draught to bring back the dead. That's witchcraft.
But he had some information for them regarding Olivia and...
Paris.
Count
Which
Paris.
was something we already kind of knew from last episode.
But how does he know? Did he just witness it? And
No, it was, remember the nurse went in and confessed to him.
Oh, yes, that's right.
But he didn't really, to be honest, didn't give them much to work with. Like, other than the fact that we knew, this was news to Rosalind that Paris is alive and that Olivia is helping, like, Friar Lawrence didn't have much more information other than that fact.
Well, they knew that they were working together and they were using Olivia as the source of information to...
Right.
They were using her as the headline of what he told them, and that was enough for Rosalind to act on it because we already knew how much she cared about her sister and she had to get back no matter what. And
of course. And we know what Lady Capulet's capable of.
Exactly. So. And so does she. So she wasn't really concerned with the how or the what. It was just, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And Benvolio followed her.
I just love him so much.
He's a stand-up guy.
He's a great
stand-up guy. And he loves her. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh, he does.
He loves her.
And he is trying his damnedest for everything. Like, he's, doing everything he can to protect her, to keep his name clean, everything. He's trying to play by the book, and no one will let him play by the book.
Yeah, the cards are pretty stacked against him in every situation of his life, whether it's his family, whether it's his relationship, whether it's just his life in general. He's guilty by all accounts no matter what.
I mean, if he goes back... which we don't know what happens where, Rosalind leaves him. It could not be Prince Aeschylus that kills him. It could be his very own family. From the way that I was understanding, they're, wanting to turn him in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To keep within the prince's good graces.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, we already know of the law that the prince has and that his father had and he's trying to keep is if any member from any of the families kills another, then they have to be killed themselves, no matter what. And we obviously know that the prince is on a power trip, so even if it's not 100% evident, which I mean, if you were an outsider looking at the situation, it obviously would look like he was guilty,
right?
But he has to act on it no matter what, and so he has to kill Benvolio. And not for nothing, but he's already kind of hating Benvolio anyway because he loves Rosalind.
But that's his own fault. I'm sorry.
I know.
Prince Aeschylus, come on. You did all of this to your own doing.
I know.
I think he's just trying to... I think he was almost happy that Benvolio was guilty, because then he had a reason to kind of
Oh yeah, exactly.
sneak in on the slide.
This is his moment, and he was excited for it. But I really love Benvolio, and we established trust between the two of them already, and now they're headed back, and he knows how much of a risk it is to go back, but he won't let her be alone. And so when they get to that, I mean, it's not a hotel. They don't have hotels, but whatever the
motel,
place,
house,
hostel.
like
whatever they were staying in, it was very evident that they had a love for each other. And I
kind of wish something would have happened.
I thought something was gonna happen,
like a kiss or something.
When he was in the bath and she was like checking him out, I was like, yes, girl.
Yes, girl. Yes. You should.
We got the ab shot in there. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, in the arms.
Yeah.
Reaching out. It's great.
She wanted it. She saw the booty.
I think she saw more than that.
We saw her face. We know what she was thinking.
And of course, she couldn't hide the noise.
And he knew that she knew.
He made that smirk.
Yeah. But
I was waiting for a little
still nothing.
Smoocheroo or something, because of course in that time, virtue, kissing is about all you get.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, unless you're a prostitute. We already knew that Benvolio already gave it up multiple times.
Benvolio has no problem with that.
This is a world he's familiar with. But
the fact that he
Rosaline
also respects Rosaline.
I know, yeah.
And her virtue and respects her as a person. It's very nice and it's respectable. And I think that, regardless of who he slept with in the past or what all he's done, is like, with his own life, he is still, like you said, a stand-up guy.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, Rosaline, she's got her own agenda. She really, I think at the same time, you see her love because she is willing to leave and save him by leaving him behind and turning herself in of sorts. I
mean, what are the consequences of, she did say that, her family would have no use for her anymore because she ran away with the guy and she can't be married off.
Well, she thinks that there won't be any, there will be consequences, but on Verona's end, they thought that Benvolio kidnapped her.
Oh, that's true.
So technically, she's in the clear.
I know, but I don't really think that when she gets back, and obviously they're going to have questions for her, I don't see her blaming it on him.
Oh, no. I think she'll definitely be like, listen.
Try to clear his name.
Yeah, I ran away with him. If he's smart, he doesn't come back for her. He's not going to be smart, is he?
Do you think that he'll come back for her?
Oh, yeah.
Like, specifically for her?
Yeah.
Like, to do what, though? To take her and, like, get on the run
I think he's going to realize his love for her. Sorry. I just have this, like, hope that the two of them will end up together.
First of all, this is like a Romeo and Juliet spinoff, so something
of course it's going to be
be
something like that.
Something has to be drastic on love.
What if both of them die, too?
Oh.
You did say it's a spinoff.
Wow. That's a large possibility.
It could easily be.
Because they're both just so unhappy with the way life's going now that it is a possibility. But I would like to think that they're both extremely strong characters, so I would hope that wouldn't be the end goal. But you're right, because what does Benvolio have now? Nothing. He's
nothing.
alone.
Legitimately nothing. We don't know what happened to his parents. His parents are gone. Now his uncle has betrayed him, who was his only confidant. The prostitute that he was in love with, Stella, is no longer on his side and turned him in. Like, he literally has no one other than Rosaline.
And then said that.
Yeah, and then Rosaline is now like trying to save him. Yes, but leaving him too. Like.
But for a good reason. Her sister is in a lot of trouble, and she doesn't even know it.
Yeah.
And Rosaline is the only one that really has the information about that.
Which was a weird twist at the end. I feel like we might as well finish up the whole Rosaline and Benvolio conversation before we switch on to the princess. But, like, the twist of having Paris there greeting her rather than Aeschylus. I mean, what did you think about that? Because I have no idea what the hell is going on.
He's a sketchy dude. Well, she knows that that's the name of the person. That's the name that the friar gave her. So, like, what's his role in all this?
I don't know. And if it wasn't for the trailer afterwards, to be honest, I was literally left like, what the hell just happened.
Well, I didn't
Because
even see the trailer.
The trailer afterwards basically shows that, like, and I'm not spoiling anything because it clearly says the trailer at the end.
Yeah,
Looking
so we're
forward
just
to
gonna
next
tell
Saturday.
you, because
Gonna
this has
tell you
happened
now.
to me before. We're mentioning something in the trailer that's happening next episode. Okay.
Yeah, so this is all we know. Disclaimer, if you don't want to know, don't watch. But they show where Prince Aeschylus is running and trying to find Benvolio. So all I know from the trailer is that he left Count Paris in charge while Aeschylus went off to find Benvolio himself because he was mad at Benvolio for kidnapping, under his understanding, Rosaline and stealing her virtue. So he's trying to be the almighty, trying to find Rosaline.
That sucks because when Rosaline comes back and relays the message that never happened, the prince is already gone.
Back then, there was no texting.
Yeah,
like,
it's not
you're
like you
done.
can hit
If
him
there's
up
a
and be
mistake,
like,
it's like, oops.
Actually,
Sorry.
no. Yeah, no, and it's already executed. But
So that's all I know.
the fact that Paris is back in action, it's like, well, now it's revealed to the public that he was like nursed back. Like,
Yeah, of course.
did people know that he was hurt?
I don't even think people knew about Count Paris, to be honest with you, because he was being brought in to be engaged to Juliet. They never had any time to, like, introduce them as a couple.
You know what I'm
or anything
thinking?
else. You know what I mean?
Because Verona is so caught up in creating these foreign relationships, I wonder if she nursed him back to health so he could like enter on behalf of wherever it is that he's from and trick the prince into thinking that he was doing him a favor. And of course, in the prince's eyes, he's like, okay, we really need relationships with other parts of Italy because obviously it's suffering with Venice and other places, and this was his lane, so he left him in charge.
And I'm wondering, like, okay, so all we know really is that Count Paris and Lady Capulet are working together. My question is, why is Lady Capulet trying to get Count Paris within the castle? Like, are the Capulets trying to take over the monarchy? Are they trying to take over the crown? Are they, like, what's the end game here? What's going on?
I don't even know.
I have no idea.
Do you really think it's a Capulet thing, though? Because she's not even... I feel like she doesn't even care about the Capulet name, whatever. I think she's only really looking out for herself. So she personally has to benefit from this some way or another.
But at the same time, it's like, why? Oh, what if it's because number one, she hates Rosaline. She thinks Rosaline's to blame for the death of Juliet. I'm wondering if she thinks that Count Paris being in the position of power, she ultimately would have the right to say to kill Rosaline. Because if Prince Aeschylus is in the seat,
he never would. Yeah.
That could be my only, like, motivation that I could find, to be honest with you.
And I want to know what Paris can get out of all of this. Like, why?
Yeah, he already had his own crown, from what I understood.
Why
or
is
some
he
type of
putting up with all of this? He has to get something out of it as well.
something. Like, I really have no idea.
Maybe him and Lady Capulet are in love or something.
Be a twisted story plot.
Yeah, I don't know.
True.
Maybe anything could happen.
I mean, I did, for another part of the trailer was she said, "Don't you want the crown?" or something to that nature.
Oh, okay.
So I know that they're working together. That's all I got.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea where it's going to go, but it leaves a nice open-ended question. But at least Rosaline did have that fair warning from Friar Lawrence.
Yeah, so she knows what's going on.
Keep from him and make sure she's playing the game properly.
Right, and now, so the prince is gone, and Count Paris is in charge of Verona because the princess is gone as well. So neither of them are there to hold down the fort. He's there, and now the princess is off dealing with some other...
Yeah, and when people are gone, they're not gone for like a day or two. They're gone for like a month.
Well, we know that she was gone for a little extra time for certain reasons.
Yeah, her certain reasons being, I mean, she had to get a little manipulation in there.
Yeah, and...
with the Doge. So I guess the girl, kudos. Like I said at the beginning, like she cut her leg in order to make sure she could get out of sleeping with the Doge.
Yeah, he's something else.
He's a snake. I mean, number one, her walking in on him and... what would we call his little soiree with those women?
I don't even know. Well, because it's nothing similar to what we would have in these times. I don't
No,
think.
it was just so
If you had
odd.
some women all up there, they probably wouldn't be wearing that. And
No.
I don't know if you would have someone feeding you grapes. Maybe they would be giving you something else instead. I don't know.
But I mean, he's laying in his like sleeping gown still, and he walks in as if he acts like it's nothing wrong. Like,
Well, she was definitely expecting for it to be a situation different than obviously
Encountered,
what
yeah.
she encountered. She walked up in there like a boss, ready to kill it and take advice from, who was it? The aunt,
Lady
Montague.
yes, the sister.
And she thought she was going to be able to just roll up in there and use her womanhood to manipulate him into signing a treaty to make sure that the two lands would, be okay.
United, yeah.
And that just wasn't the case.
And it seems that Venice is a lot different than Verona.
Well, yeah, of course.
A lot
and
different.
Beginning
than
with the
Verona.
fact that they don't have a crown. They have a Doge,
Right.
which is essentially the ruler, but there's
He's
not
elected, isn't he? No. Were they elected?
I don't know exactly how the royalty works there. I just know that there's not a queen. There's not like a high, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different way, but because he's the one and only man in power, because he's twisted,
The whole
other
city's
shit's twisted.
And I mean, Venice is known for its art and its romanticism and everything else. So I feel like it definitely fits with what the idea around Venice is. It's very much pleasure based, is what
Yeah.
they. What was her name? Hold on, I have her name.
I think
It starts with a V.
I want to say it, but I want to be wrong.
Guess.
Veronica. Oh no.
I can't find it. Valentina.
Oh, Valentina.
Not Veronica, Valentina.
I knew it was a V.
It was
and
a V. It's
at
a
the
V.
end.
But Valentina even says, everything has its price, and the Doge is definitely anything that he wants. He gets, essentially.
Right, and you could tell he was kind of a brat.
Kind of.
No, he was a huge brat.
He's a huge brat.
Asshole. But
it was interesting to me. I mean, I've always wondered what happened back in those days of when it came to a woman's time of the month. Clearly, it is not a good thing at all in his eyes.
well, I mean, why would it be if it was clear what his motive was?
Of course it was. Yeah, I mean, we're
wanted
not cutting
her.
corners around that at all.
And when it's that time as a woman, it might be gross for a man to deal. And
Yes.
sometimes it's not, but sometimes it is.
But clearly
And
the
he
Doge
wasn't
does
down for
not
it.
like it at all.
And he was pretty disgusted by it. But, props to her, though, because that was a really good idea. But when Valentina walked in and said that they found you on the sheets, whatever, I almost thought that she was in on it and she was, like, doing it
thought
to
so,
save
too.
her. And I was like, okay, a little,
camaraderie here, sisterly
yeah,
power.
we got,
no.
like, girls looking out for girls. I respect it. But Valentina was not who I was expecting her to be at all. Her
No.
loyalty was completely to the Doge. Well, at this point in time, we
Right.
thought it was completely to him.
Not gonna lie, I loved this character.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, she gave
was
such
fierce.
a twist to it because we've had so many of the same characters, and not to say that it was predictable, but in a sense, like she definitely brought a little bit of spice
Right.
to the episode. But her whole dynamic with the princess, she clearly felt like she was superior than the princess
I mean, at that
the entire time.
she was, though. Well, because the princess is a princess, but not in Venice.
No, that's true. Yeah.
She doesn't, and I think that was a hard adjustment for her to make because she's so used to having so much power and reigning over an entire land, and then she gets to this place that's completely out of her comfort zone. There's this perverted man that's running the land and running all the women, but she comes from a place where she sits on the throne, and you know, she's not the one that's completely in charge of the power, but she basically is, because she just tells her brother to do whatever she thinks is best.
And virtue is her, to be honest, her only currency. Because
And
she
she
has
says it herself.
Yeah, she has everything in the world.
Yep.
Like, she could want for nothing, but the only thing that is of value to her is her virtue in being able to produce an heir. And, you know, clearly they just didn't care about that.
Well, they said,
all.
you know, you could still produce an heir, but her point was that no man is going to want an
her.
impure woman.
Yeah. Which,
And
my
I do
question
feel
too is,
bad.
maybe this is me being naive, but how would anybody know?
Well, you know, we could talk about it after. But
No, I know, but like I'm saying, like, if you really think about it, like if she just lied to whoever came along, unless the Doge goes off and runs his big mouth, like, she could easily just lie.
Well, because I think I don't even know if this is like scientifically true, but when you do it the first time, something happens that doesn't happen all the other times.
Right, but if she's
supposedly.
smart enough to cut her leg,
Yeah, okay.
girl
She
could
make
easily
it happen.
make it like. But I mean, she was very intelligent and very like conniving to figure out a way to still get out of it. She ultimately got out of all of it,
Right.
and made a friend
because
along the way.
Exactly. And it was just she thought that money could buy anything, and up until this point in her life, that's probably how things were. But obviously it was very clear that Valentina didn't need money, and she said it herself. You know, she too also has everything, and she had to give up her virtue to have what she had, so she didn't really have any sympathy for the princess in that way.
And if you're gonna bribe someone, don't lowball them.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta
You gotta start high.
or just think of something that would have been of value to her. If you see that she already has all the riches and
Why offer her more money?
this fabulous life, exactly. She doesn't. That's not something that she necessarily needs
Right.
at this point. But I knew that she wasn't gonna go for it. But that dinner was not something that I expected either.
No, I did not expect her to go over and just basically say, "Hey, this is what she offered
And be
me,"
a
and throw her
snitch.
under the
But I didn't think that the Doge was going to react in that way either. I thought the consequences were going to be much harsher than just like talking shit for a little bit.
But his line about like, "May I remind you why you're here? That you killed my brother, and I could slaughter tons of your people or kill your brother for revenge." Like, that's intense.
Yeah.
That
But
was
it's
a little.
true. I mean,
it's
they
true,
could.
but
That's
just,
something that's like war worthy.
Of course, yeah.
If you kill someone who's of, not literally royalty, but of
royal blood.
the reigning
yeah.
power of that land, and another land is responsible for it, like, that's huge. What if another country came in and killed our president? Of course there would be repercussions.
And war. Yeah, that makes sense. But you know what? I did enjoy too with, you know, not only did Princess Isabella have like her like intelligent little games that she played, but her friend Helena
Stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, she did. But am I the only one that saw a little love connection there?
Oh, you think there's a little something?
Yes.
Yeah, you know, now that you say that, I could see that.
I was waiting for it because I was like, oh my God, this would be one other twist that they're bringing into this whole show.
But you know, and at that time, that was probably extremely taboo to even think about or even dream about.
Of course, but I mean, there's no doubt that it happened.
Yeah, no, of
like,
course.
I guarantee. But just like the moments that they looked at each other and held hands, and their parting
they
was
were,
when it finally.
You know, they were holding hands for like, you know, when it just happens for like that moment, and it's almost
long.
like
Moment too long.
Yes, it's like you get to that point where it's just like a second too long, where it's awkward and it's like intentional. Yeah, you know, you're right. You're right.
And I was just waiting for it. And her eyes, like Helena's eyes when she was leaving, I was literally like, just take her with her. Just take her with you.
I thought she was going to offer
I
her
thought so
to
too.
come with her, because then she wouldn't have to be. What exactly is a lady in waiting?
So back then, the princess did not have to raise a finger. Ever.
Okay.
Her ladies in waiting would dress her, would bathe her, would do everything for her. She would never have to do, she could sit on the couch for all her life and never do a thing. And the ladies in waiting would do all of it.
I need to find me some ladies in waiting.
Right. But they're typically like, they're the women that spend the most time with her. So they are ladies of a higher stature. They're not servants. They are ladies that are, you know, of high hierarchy within the palace or within the realm of the town or whatever. And they are like her confidants and her best friends.
Okay.
So they're getting paid to be her best friend.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And I mean, they probably live
very
comfortable life in the palace,
luxuriously
you know?
underneath a princess.
Okay.
So, but I mean, even she explained too, which brings into the whole Doge like running the palace by himself, is that there is no woman of Venice, that she is specifically ladies in waiting for the visiting ladies from other towns. So I'm wondering how many princesses.
Well, she said there's a lot of foreign women that come in and out of there.
You know, that is one hell of a castle in Venice.
Yeah. Yep, it is. But she, you know, she was smart to find another way because she truly didn't want to have to give up her virtue. So she sent her friend in to find the journal because she saw Valentina writing in a journal when she entered her room. So she took note of that. But instead, she found the coins from Milan.
Which I loved her story. I love Princess Isabella and her, like, she is a great conversationalist. Of her telling the story of, you know, we had a traitor among our midst and we found these coins.
Right, and that probably did really happen because how else would she know what the value of the coin was?
But it was interesting because he had mentioned something about
the Papal States being ahead of him.
Always. So she overheard that at dinner. So clearly she understood
and put the pieces together. Correct.
Yeah. She's quick.
Yeah, she is. So she got away, and most importantly, now there's a treaty between Verona and Venice, so they cannot go to war. And that was her goal the entire time, because again, the Doge's brother was killed in Verona, so there was a huge possibility that Venice and Verona could have large issues.
Of course.
But now that's a check. That's one land that they don't have to worry about.
And bringing it full circle, what do you think is your prediction for when Princess Isabella returns to Verona now that Count Paris is in position and Princess Bliss is gone?
I think she's too smart. And because she has a relationship with Rosaline, I think even if the two of them aren't working together, I think Isabella is probably going to realize that something's off with Paris.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of them uniting.
Either that... yeah.
For a common goal, regardless of what that is.
Like that, but what is Paris's in to the crown? It's Isabella. Like, what if he's going to try to
sway her,
have
woo
a
her
relationship with her to get what he wants?
And also, I'm kind of confused with the timelines too. Is Count Paris in position while Princess Isabella is in Venice?
Yeah.
So when she returns, is all of this going to have been happening for a while with Count Paris?
Well, it depends how long it takes her to return, because again, she has to like return by horse. so
it takes weeks. She's
not going to take, you know, from Venice to Verona. I don't know how far apart that is to get there these days, but it's definitely not a quick trip, you know?
Could you imagine like having to travel everywhere within like...
Yeah, it takes a long time. So he's taking charge, and I would imagine that she wouldn't be happy about that because she likes to have complete control and power over everything. Having this foreign man be in charge of all this is probably going to seem bizarre to her. And I wonder under what circumstances Prince Aeschylus allowed that to be possible.
That's true. And on top of it, she is a woman. As much as there's feminism in this show, I mean, in real talk, real time, like the princess can't rule anything without.
Yeah, but she
the
knows
say-so,
that. That's why
of
she
course.
kept putting so much emphasis on having a baby, because that was
That's
her
all that
only
she-
way. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot to be said for the next episode. I mean, we know that Princess Calissa and Benvolio are going to have it out, and Count Paris is taking over. So,
Yep.
either way, it'll leave for an interesting episode.
Yeah, and I know originally last week we talked about there only being 6 episodes, but now on IMDb there's actually
Shows that there will be episode 7. So, update on that.
they only added 7.
Yes. So if we go back and we go to Olive, so if you guys go to IMDb and check it out, they'll show you all the episodes. And it's listed that they go up to episode 10, but they only have dates for episode 6, which is July 22nd, and episode 7, which is July 29th. So we know that we are going to July 29th. Who knows if they're going to finish out the season since they already finished filming all of it. I'm assuming they'll probably finish it out because they had the full order.
Yeah, that would.
Just sorry, chime in here, but checking on a website, it says that on this website at least, it says there's 7 episodes in the total season.
Oh, there's
Okay.
7. So we just found out there's another website that says that there's only 7. So if anything changes other than that, we'll keep you posted. But
Yep.
it seems that 7 is going to be the max rather than 6.
So either way, we'll be here next week.
We'll be here next week and then maybe the week after. But thank you guys for continually tuning in, and we will see you next time. Again, my name is Candice Cruz, and you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and all of my social media at Candice R. Cruz.
And I'm Olivia Gabaree, the real OG, the real _O_G.
All right, bye guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.